Alrighty, hello everyone. I'm not going to be doing an intro. No music today. Just want to jump into it. Don't really need to get anything ready. Don't need to set up anything. So we're just going to pretty much jump right into it. So, Dear Go207 here with you guys. Happy Saturday to y'all. Again, once as always, hope y'all are doing well, staying safe, doing all right out there. Gonna go ahead and pull up my stream here, get the chat going, seeing if anyone wants to pop in. Just trying to kill some time till I get tired. I'm had a busy day of lawn work. Mowed my aunt's lawn and mowed the lawn, trimmed around the edge of the house, cut down some bamboo. Much better. Did all sorts of stuff. Then I grilled a bunch of steaks, potatoes on the grill, some corn on the cob as well on the grill. So just very tired. I even went in to get a couple drinks. And now, before I get into what we're doing here, what we're looking at, and why there's yellow flashing lights in the middle of the road, this old lady that comes in to the rooster where I work at, I don't mean to be rude, but it's like when people walk in, we normally tell them, hi, welcome to, you know, welcome, you can sit wherever you like and stuff like that, and they go sit wherever they like. It's just open seating. It's how it is. But if we don't get to them within like 2 seconds, she'll say it. It's like, no, 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 you don't work here. Please don't do that. Because you're making us look very unattentive. Just mind your own business, please. And she's very involved in everyone's business and all sorts of things. Like, I don't think her children or grandchildren call. Or I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So she talks to just everyone, and it's kind of annoying. Because it's like, I just kind of want to sit at the bar, drink my drink, and then go home. I don't really want to talk to anyone. Like, the cook today was being obnoxious. I'm not going to name names, but whatever. He's sitting at the end of the bar, and it's like, I used to like being a regular. It was nice, especially to the point where like I didn't know everyone that worked there. But now that I work there, it's like, and then he comes over and it's like he was kind of persistent on sitting next to me. I kind of look like an ass because I look at him. The guy was coming over to shake my hand, the cook, and he goes, I go, really? Why are you so persistent on sitting next to me? He's like, I was coming over to shake your hand. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, what? You don't like me? Secretly, no. I actually don't like you because you just, after the little fucking incident the other day, work. No, I don't particularly care for you. Fucking Thursday night, the owner and his family is coming in from the wake for his mother, and we kind of knew that they might be popping in, but we weren't entirely positive. And as we saw that they were coming in, I ran out back, told the kitchen like, "Hey, don't shut down. Like, we might need to stay open for the owner and his family." And you know, the cook goes, "Well, my off time's 9 o'clock. I'm leaving at 9." I'm like, "Dude, literally, it's your boss." He's like, "Well, my off time says 9 o'clock, and no one told me." Like, his mother just died. I promise you, she won't do it again. Like, she will not inconvenience you again. This is a one-time thing. She will only die once. As YOLO, I think it's Yodo. Is it Yodo? Yeah, it's Yodo. You only die once. You only live once. You only die once. Well, actually, no. There are people who have died before, and generally speaking, though, you only die once. So, but anyways, yeah. So I'm very tired. I've just been kind of in a very blah state. I was working on Kaldvann earlier. I was actually gonna stream earlier. That didn't happen. I just kind of faded off into existence and just went into this just kind of like half food coma, half I'm just tired, half I've had a long fucking week. But anyways, so we're here in Kaldvann. We're here on crap. I forgot how to say that word. Storschlat Alle, Alley. It's funny that the word for Grand Avenue, or well, Grand Storschlat or Storslot? Yeah, Storslot. Sounds very Norwegian. But the word for avenue, allée, and technically it's supposed to have the little French accent over it, but I have to install a new fucking key binding for that, and I just don't feel compelled to do so. Um, it's very French, so it's very funny how like the two languages have combined or something like that. At least from like from what I've looked at, because I don't know. Like I know gata is the word for street, so you'll have this street here, Sven Eriksson Gata, which is the leader of the Orkinger voyage, Sven Eriksson. He was the captain of the ship that him and his family had built and came over in the late 1600s to discover Kaldvann. He went on later to become the founder of the Trondheim colony and its leader for at least 30 some odd years before his untimely death. But so the main avenue that passes through here, I think I've referred to as Prinsessengata, which is the main road that runs through the actual Trondheim. But I want some, aside from this like almost being a copy of Trondheim, in some aspects, I do want this to be somewhat unique, especially with the naming. Aside from some of the district names, but I do want at least some of the roads to be different. So we have Sven Eriksson Gata, which runs from the north side of town, heads south towards the government district, bears right, hooks left, and then comes through Marienburg this way. So this over here is Sven Eriksson Gata, and then it leads pretty much all the way down to the Marienburg shopping plaza, where it dead ends at the IKEA, which I'm probably going to swap out for a grocery store, although there is an Aldi right there. I suppose I could leave the IKEA. I might move the IKEA. I'm not sure if I want the IKEA right here. I might put it over there or something. We'll wait and see what I decide to do. Yeah, so I've been naming some of the streets, and by some of the streets, I mean I probably have 3 streets that are named. So this is Grand Avenue. Grand Avenue, I think is gonna it might end here. So this is Grand Avenue, and it comes pretty much all the way over. Grand Avenue keeps coming along, coming along, coming along, coming along, and then it dead ends here on the or it terminates here at this intersection. So this is the beginning and end of Grand Avenue on the east side of town. Well, comes into Rosenborg, but see, I'm being tired. Then the only other street I have named is over here by the telecommunications building. We have Kommunikationsplassen, or Communications Plaza. Originally I was going to do Telecommunications Plaza, or Plassen, but that actually didn't fit on the sign, and this isn't one of those signs that you can like elongate or extend. So I'm kind of stuck with it, or stuck with the length, so I shortened it up to Communication Plaza. Plassen. I also changed the road texture from changed it from a spline brick road to a brick road texture. And I kind of like that a little more. Kind of matches just a little bit. I added streetlights. I think actually I got I plopped them. I didn't rotate them. I got them all the way over to here. I just need to do Sven Eriksson Gata side of the street. And then I should be good at least for another city block that will be lighted. And then I'll go through and add little things, trash cans, fire hydrants, and extra signage. Then over here, there's this big crosswalk that comes across to the Grand Hotel, as well as the shopping center across the street. Stop yawning. It's funny, I wasn't yawning until I started talking. But this is kind of a larger shopping store. Merton's house. Um, you got a box store down here, but there's other stores up top as well. It's kind of like a pseudo mall, I guess. But anyways, so there's this big crosswalk out front, and so I decided I wanted to put some traffic lights up and so on and so forth. But I still wanted to, warn about the crosswalk, because even though there's traffic lights, doesn't mean people aren't going to cross. And they're totally at fault if they get hit. I mean, that's a signaled crosswalk. Um, if you cross against the signal, technically the pedestrian is at fault. Um, it sucks, but that's how it is, and so on and so forth. At least here in Trondheim and Kaldvann. So I took some of those rotating beacons, the PW beacons, these ones right here, and just lowered them into the ground, so it kind of looks like there's embedded flashers in the road. And I kind of like it. It just adds a little extra something to the scene, and so on and so forth. I don't really think I did a whole lot else. I think last night, I was working back here uh, while listening to the whole the Act Man and Quantum TV situation going on YouTube. If any of you are familiar with that, um, it's I keep up with the inner workings of YouTube and whatnot through actually one of my favorite channels that I've come to know. He's kind of one of those commentary channels. I don't know why. I just kind of like it. It's just nice to have going on in the background while I'm doing stuff, and you know, it's always interesting, these little YouTube dramas that go on. I wouldn't say I find them hilarious, just because some of them are about some quite serious matter, but they're always, I guess maybe funny is the word, but I don't know. They're very interesting in how they go on, in certain figures that get involved and certain people that don't get involved, and it's just, I don't know. It's interesting, and what's more interesting, I think, to me, or maybe what the most interesting part is how some of these dramas get started. I don't know, they're stupid. Like 90% of them are just dumb, and I don't know. It's interesting hearing someone else's opinion, hearing a bunch of people's opinions about the matter. Whether you like it or not, you're gonna get everyone's opinion, especially on YouTube. Um, you know, but I've found this guy Papa Gut. Um, I'd probably say a little way through 2021, maybe, or yeah, maybe about 2021, maybe earlier last year. Um, and I kind of got involved, or not involved, but I kind of got interested in this kind of story he was following about this kid named Daniel Larson. Um, he's just some kid with autism, um, from Colorado, who just the internet trolls and stuff like that. Like, I guess he's kind of like a modern day Christian, if any of you are familiar with that. But I don't know what you guys know and what you don't know. I don't know like what you guys pay attention to and what you don't. So I'm totally assuming these are like names you guys are familiar with. But point being is like he's just kind of a modern day Christian, if you are familiar with that name. Um, People were just trolling him and shit like that, and it's kind of sad. But some of the things they would make him do, because like this kid was convinced like he's famous, or like he's dating Grace Vanderwall. Again, another name. I'm throwing a shit ton of names out of here with like the hope that you guys know who the hell I'm talking about. But like people kept trolling him, and he kept believing like these were legitimate things. Like he believed he was signed to a record deal, and like these guys, it's just crazy. He technically lives in an assisted living home, I guess, but yeah, it was bad. And I don't know, I kind of like followed the story of Daniel Larson for whatever reason. And I found this guy Papa Gut, and he's just, I don't know, his opinion about things is refreshing, I would say. Because he doesn't just do like YouTube commentation. He does, like some political shit, which I'm not gonna sit here and say like all my political opinions come from him, but like things going on, I tend to kind of see what he has to say about certain things and certain matters, and I don't know. Again, it's refreshing to know that there's not someone who's absolutely bat fucking shit crazy on the platform that I can watch. But regardless, so I just was watching him about the whole the Act Man situation, because again, it's just these are things that I situations that I've followed, and kind of as it was happening, and how YouTube has responded to it. And I'm kind of, once again, I think the community's enraged by how YouTube is treating a content creator. Now, there are certain things that maybe the Act Man did that pissed off YouTube and whatnot. And I suggest, like, to get the context, I suggest going to watch Papa Gut, just because I'm not going to sit here and try to give all the fucking context in the world, because I'm not. I'm too tired right now. But point being, I guess for some context, Quantum TV, he's just some batshit loser. Um, he made a bad take about Elden Ring and about how video games need to be inclusive for everyone. Like, basically, he was mad, made a pretty controversial like review of Elden Ring. He's probably just salty because he couldn't actually like do well at the game, and like he had a bad take. People didn't like it. People got mad about it, and he got incredibly shitty about it. And he's pretty full of himself, and he started like false flagging people's videos, like copyright striking them, or like when people would use his clip, he would like fair use strike someone's video, which like it's not how that works. And like, not gonna sit here and try to tout that I know all these legal. What the fuck was the legal? I Jaden, go to bed. Um, legal issues, not legal. It's not a seagull named Lee. Bad joke. Go home. But that's just not how fair use works. Like, it's not how that works, Chief. But anyways, so long story short, Quantum TV just he kept digging his own hole, digging his own hole, digging his own hole, and the Act Man did a pretty big, like I think it was an hour long, from what I can recall, an hour long video on Quantum TV, and he talked about like how he's ban evading, all this other shit, and like he's a really horrible person and whatnot, and like he needs to be removed from the platform. But long story short, Quantum TV was not removed from the platform, but the Act Man, because of I think a false flag from Quantum TV, Act Man got removed. Now, after it's removed, he appealed his video got demonetized. He appealed it. It got denied. He made a few kind of poor taste tweets, and this is kind of where like I agree with him getting kicked off the platform, because like, all right, you can't say those things, but I do understand like they were satire. Like, I get it, been there, talked out my ass. Like, I understand why this guy said what he said. You still can't do that, but it is what it is. Like, he said it, and he owns it too. He's like, yeah, I maybe have taken it a little too far, threatening to because he's like, oh man, I'm gonna starting a new YouTube series about hate speech and stuff like that, because apparently that's allowed in YouTube. Or hey, I'm gonna make a new series that's gonna be doxing and like something like doxing and something else YouTube employees, because apparently that's allowed, like the families and the employees of YouTube. And YouTube took that down. It's like, okay, like I get why they did that. I understand why you said what you said. You probably shouldn't have. And like like I said, dude gets it. He's like, yeah, I took that a little too far. But, like, he's just a human. He's a human with emotions. And he fucked up. He fucked up. And that's, mostly alright. Like, I fuck up. I fuck up every day. I fuck up every single day. So I'm not going to sit here and try to claim, like, I'm perfect and better than this guy. Like I said, I get emotional. I talk out my ass. That's just how that works. Just that's how life be on some days. But for YouTube just to jump the gun and, like, for no punishment towards this Quantum TV guy for all the shit he's done, but they came down on the Act Man, and, like, this dude did some serious work. Like, he did his homework about Quantum TV. He had all sorts of proof about X, Y, and Z. Didn't ban or punish Quantum TV, but the Act Man gets a fair use claim or copy, some a flag on his video, and they take it down, and he gets all pissy about it because they're just not paying attention. It was stupid. That's all it was. It was dumb. The whole situation's dumb. I mean, it's just drama on YouTube, so of course it's dumb. I'm downloading all these buildings. Sorry, I'm looking at buildings because I'm a whore. Like, I am absolutely a whore. Just, like, trying to download some, like, extra buildings or stuff like that I can build around here. But yeah, the whole thing was just absolute bullshit. But the fact that, like, YouTube once again has just fucked up, and yeah, it's just typical YouTube being YouTube, and it doesn't shock me in the slightest, but it makes me sad. It's like, come on, guys, like, you're better than this. Like, come on, YouTube. Like, you're supposed to be better than this. Like, yeah, it's crazy, but yeah. So I took the time earlier to kind of just um, watch that video and just do some work here. And there's a cold ass breeze coming through my window. Like, it got weirdly cold out there. I need to go close that window. Anyways, before I get stuck in downloading more shit, because that's just how I work, that is a big building. That is a very big building. I wonder, does it have a night mode? I thought these buildings were going to be just a touch smaller than they were, but guess not. That is also a fairly good sized building. That is also a pretty chunkin' sized building. These are big buildings. I did not mean to download a big building. Ooh. Be nicer if it had a little bit of a night mode to it. Ooh. Yeah, that's nice. No night mode, though, and that kind of pisses me off. Like, if it wasn't so tall, I'd... Oh, it has a night mode. Shit. If it wasn't so tall, I could probably replace the Allegiant Tower, but it's just... Like, that I could stick somewhere. Yeah, because it's smaller. Like, I could comfortably stick this somewhere over here, especially because it actually has a night mode. Like, some of these buildings here I'm probably going to end up replacing just because they don't look the greatest, but if I can get something that's maybe just a touch smaller, or... Like, see, they have night modes, and that's nice. It actually looks like a city. Like this one, I want that building. And that building's quite nice, too. I guess I'll go to, let me see. 12? That's a good building. See, look, that's a building. No shit. But that's a nice, yes, that's a building, Jaden. Very good. Toby is a cat. Ooh, see, now that's very nice. These are all very nice buildings. I could use these over in Castine, because I'm trying to build the cityscape. I just don't want Castine to have the larger building. I want that to be up here. So I gotta make sure, like, what buildings I can and can't use. And that's quite nice. Alright, so I guess we'll kind of, like, grab daytime again. See, I like the roof detail. This EMT guy, So I just want to go back up to the top real quick and make sure, like... See, like, I think these kinds of buildings are going to kind of replace maybe some of these buildings over here or something. I don't know exactly, but... anyways, let me see. I don't want to grab buildings that are taller. I think Castine's downtown core might be a little more dense than Trondheim's, but not by much. I don't want to have to build a giant second city again. Yeah, see, that's too tall. And like the first building, it's not bad, but I don't believe a country like this would have this many large-scale buildings. Although that's fucking nice. Look at that. That would have been a nice tower. Sorry, I find new assets, then I'm like, wow, look at that. Oh, and it has a night mode. Look at that shit. Ah, it's such a nice building. And it has an antenna that's built into it. I didn't have to do all the work for it. It actually has decent roof detail. But it's like desperately tall. I mean, God, look at that. Like, just for the sake of the argument. Like, let's just say I put that on the corner. Like, it just isn't correct for anywhere. Like, it just dwarfs everything around it. Like, that is uncalled for. That's just too tall of a building. And it sucks because it's a nice looking building. Like, that building can work. That building cannot work because it's too damn tall. Oh, that is a nice building too. A lot of these buildings have nice facades too. That is too tall. Can't use it. Ah! That's also a nice building. Like, I want to use it. I might have to. Yeah, I might, because that's just a nice building. Christ, look at it. I think we're going to have to go down to Castine real quick and mess around the large building. I mean, look. Yeah. I think Castine's going to have the larger of the buildings. I mean, the Legion Tower was constructed in, the construction started in 89, finished in 91. Or no, it finished, or started 89, finished in 94. It was officially open to the public in 90, or very, very early 95. Alright, so let's see here. So this building doesn't really have a night mode, so I can get rid of that. U.S. Embassy doesn't have a night mode, so I could in theory get rid of that too. This is why I should be banned from like the download station while live streaming, because this happens every fucking time. See, that's a nice, decent looking building. Mostly want to replace just these two buildings. I mean, ideally, I'd like to replace this whole line of buildings, and that's coming. I'm gonna replace this whole line of buildings here. I don't like it. They just look a little too off to me. So I want to keep the height, but I want to replace these buildings. So I don't particularly care for them anymore. Yeah, anyways, so like I said earlier, I was just kind of doing some basic work. I built a parking lot behind the National Police Station, um, so that actually has kind of like a place for the squad cars to park. I actually have been painting some of the squad cars for the Trondheim Police Department, which I'll probably show you at the end of the stream. I'll figure that out real quick. Just little extra things. Like I said, this project has sparked many side projects in my spare time, that I love doing, and I love working on them, and so on and so forth. Um, you know, like I have a couple of trucks for the Trondheim Fire Department painted up. I mean, I've sat here and typed up the entire list of what every department holds. Like I could go to a station and tell you what truck would be in what bay, and if I could get them in the game, I absolutely would love to. But the unfortunate side effect is I'm using SketchUp, and I'm just gonna leave it right there. I'm using SketchUp. That is like Polygon City, so so that's just not gonna work. Um, I'm just really impressed with these assets. Like, these are beautiful buildings, and they're just generic enough, and they're nice and modern too. But like, they're just generic enough. Like, you know, they can fit into really any city. It's awesome. It's they're beautiful. Like, you kind of get a very kind of New York-esque like city vibe, but you know, this could really pass for just any city. Like, I already love that. That's already a big improvement. I do want to replace like maybe that building and this building. So I guess for like those who don't know, like this area right here is kind of considered the embassy district. So all like a lot of the embassies have kind of established their base of operations out of here. I kind of swore this had a night mode. I thought it did. Clearly not, because it would have lit up. But I think actually that's Tower of London or Office Thames. or Thames or Thames or whatever. So yeah, a lot of like the embassies have kind of established themselves in this area. Obviously, the one right here being the U.S. Embassy. Over here we have the kind of the Commonwealth Embassy. I do need to get the South African and the Australian and New Zealand flag in here. Right now I just have Canada and the UK. But this would be kind of like the Commonwealth Embassy, or the Embassy of the Commonwealths, which might be labeled, yep, Embassy of the Commonwealth, or it should be Commonwealths. Or no, it's just Commonwealth, because it's only one Commonwealth, but many different nations. Ah, it's just such a nice building. I'm having like a stroke. God. I'll probably end up leaving that building, honestly. Oh, I hear a Toby. He must know I'm live streaming. Hello, sir. Would you like some pets? Oh, you would. Okay, go be a cat. Run away. Well, don't run away, but, you know. Frolic down the hall if you must. But anyways, so just that's kind of my little rant on the YouTubeisms right now. I don't know if I ever really finished that, but the point being is I'm just very interested and engaged with what's going on around YouTube for just various different reasons. Kind of first and foremost being just it is kind of interesting to keep up with what's going on. So when YouTube just throws something new at us, I'm not sitting there going, "Huh, wonder what happened." Need not wonder. I kind of kept up with that, so I'm aware. But it's all just silly, senseless drama that, ugh, like any drama is just silly and senseless. But all right, so nothing can be bigger than that. Like I do want kind of like a decent downtown core, but I don't want anything like super dense. Um, but there is a fair bit of like stuff going on here, and like this building isn't bad, but I don't know if I want it right there, so we'll move it. I guess to break from YouTubeisms for a second, a lot of like building a city, and particularly like this is how it happened with Trondheim, was it was a lot of just trial and error. You know, I would build something and I go, okay, yeah, that's kind of nice, and then I'd leave it alone for a little while, and then I'd come back to it sometime later and go, okay, like that's all right. Like I like what I did there, but like maybe I should try this, and you know, it keep morphing. My God, morphing. Until finally I'd get a product that I like. I go, okay, like this is pretty good. This is decent. I can work with this. All right, you know, and I go for a little while. I go, okay, like this is still all right. But what if I try this now? You know, and I do it like at one point, the greater downtown Trondheim area was pretty dense. It was actually pretty dense. Like there wasn't a lot of very dense buildings, but or like tall buildings, but the buildings were pretty close together. There was a couple of areas within the downtown area that were pretty dense. You know, there was a lot of high rises. Um, you know, so the Elysian Tower didn't kind of stick out, you know, above the rest. you know, it was just more of a kind of visual clutter, I guess is what I'm trying to spit out in English here. Um, but over time, I was like, well, I don't really like that, and I'd take down one of the buildings, and then I'd be like, well, now it just kind of looks weird without the other big buildings, so I'd take a few more down, then take a few more down, then finally I would be like, well, let me start over, so I'd redo how it looks, and then it would kind of just change more and more and more and more, and then eventually it would just look drastically different. Actually, so I kind of want this building to kind of form a little bit of a plaza. So I'm going to kind of put it over here. Be a road that goes this way. Like this, I'm not minding too much. Like I do like the diversity in the heights of the buildings, and I think that's going to be kind of the big thing with this area is there's a lot more taller buildings. Like this area became a proper down like a city center with high rises. It's going to be like Trondheim is the bigger of the two, maybe I think. Maybe as time went on, like this area kind of grew up more and surpassed Trondheim. But I've always thought of Trondheim as the bigger of the two areas. But I guess as like I had a lot of different views for Trondheim originally, so me changing it up now. That's a loading dock, and I'm putting that on the street side. That's great. Um, Me morphing how Trondheim looks now and morphing how Castine looks now isn't too shocking because that's a lot of what I've done. That's a lot of what I have been doing is morphing and changing how things look as I move forward. So I'm actually going to kind of move this a little more this way. It's going to be a very weird intersection. So what I actually want to do now is I think there's two of these. Yep. Alright, so I want to take this and bring it down. Alright, sorry. I was just deep in thought there for a minute or two. Just trying to figure out exactly how am I going to do this intersection. Because this is kind of the tough part is taking these different levels just because of how low Castine is and trying to bring it down quickly, not too unrealistically, but quickly enough to be at the intersection. And then on top of that, make the intersection kind of flow along. So, um, like this is going to kind of be a sharper corner, more or less. We'll probably back that up some and maybe smooth that out just a little bit. there, so there's not so much confliction there. Alright, so I'll take that, just move it over, and now we have our really confusing intersection. It's not the worst thing I've ever drummed up, but it's definitely not the cleanest. But it is one of the more interesting ones. I feel like I just said it's not the most interesting. But like I said, I am tired, so I'm just going to be running with the excuse of I'm not all here right now. So, but this larger area out front of this building gives kind of some unique space to maybe put a monument or something, or maybe put some like greenery, um, just so that way it's not all pavement. If I can spit that out without my voice, kind of leaving. I'm gonna actually rotate this building to kind of keep that section off of the seawall. Yeah, that'll work. There's an entrance over here for this building, and that's pretty much it. That's kind of one thing I don't like about this building is that one entrance. Is this on a slope? It is not. So then why are you being this way? Oh. Interesting. So yeah, I think this will work for now. This building I'm not too sure of here on the corner. I don't know if I have anything smaller that might fit better there. I mean, I have this. That's a lot smaller. See, I don't want to totally expose the base of this tower. I also don't want that building because the back end is just too bare. It's too short, like lengthwise. That's a little better. Yeah, that's a little better. I could work with that a little more. I can also kind of match this up to the road set here. Yes, the original plan tonight, without yawning too much, was to work up in Castine, or I'm sorry, Trondheim, to kind of detail some areas. And right now we are seeing how well that is going. It is going very well, might I add. Don't yawn. Too late. Actually, I wonder, will this building fit? Well, no, because it has that loading dock. I don't know how the fuck I'm getting anything in there with that. Alright, so we'll just do that. Let me see. Do I have something that maybe fits a little more in this area? Ooh, yeah, that works a little more. Okay. I'm gonna keep this though. I like that. But yeah, so a lot of how I build is just like this. I mean, this is a lot how everyone builds because you need to kind of figure out what do you want in this area? What fits this? What kind of look are you going for? Um, I know cities aren't something people build too often, especially like this or like Trondheim. Um, but a lot of it too is also kind of the views. Like this is a very good vantage point. These diagonal roads, or just these roads in general, where something uh, is prominently displayed. That's kind of how I was looking at Trondheim earlier, and I'll show you when we go back over there. But the telecommunications building in certain areas, even though it's not very tall, not like this, where this is very prominently tall, um, but it still sticks up high enough, and in certain angles, and quite actually a few places, you can see that building sticking prominently up above the rest. It's tall enough that it's very much visible from around the city, whereas the Allegiant Tower, though it is the tallest building in the city, well, second tallest behind the church, but that's only because of the spire, or the steeple. The steeple, um, you know, just goes so damn high. But the Allegiant Tower being the tallest structure in the city, um, it's disincluding the church again. Um, it doesn't get as many views as the telecommunications building, and that's just because it's kind of tucked out of the way. It's kind of very much tucked out of the way to where you have to be in specific areas to see that building. It's just how that works. You have to be in very specific angles in very specific parts of the city to see that building. And if you're not, well, you're not going to see it. Like I said, even though it is the largest building in the city. But this is kind of how I build a lot of my cities. Like I said, again, is just kind of plopping things down and seeing what works the best. Because I have here all these buildings, and I want to use them in some capacity. So maybe this building, like I like this building, but the lack of windows on the sides, like it had to be kind of surrounded by something, and I think that's going to be a problem. Is a lot of these buildings are going to be kind of open by themselves. Like this building or the building I just deleted probably would have worked more in Trondheim if there were taller buildings also around it. Like I don't mind that, that's not, I'm not terribly annoyed by that. Because there, at least on three sides, are a lot of windows, so that at least could face like the back side of something. I will actually grab that. Now this is, meant to be next to some other buildings. But the thing is, with also building your cities is it's nice to have a lot of large buildings, but you don't want to crowd out all your buildings. You don't want to crowd out. Excuse me. You don't want to crowd out all your buildings to where you can't see them. So, like, if I took these buildings all here and just kind of move them in real quick, let's just theoretically say, um, let's just say I did something like this, and what have you nots. Fuck, actually, I kind of like that. I guess that building's kind of tall. So I just defeated my entire point, all in one go. So yeah. So I'm Diego207 signing off. See you guys later. Yeah, shit, I actually kind of like that. Like, yeah, that building is very tall, and you're gonna see over it regardless, but... Ha! Huh. Yeah, for whatever reason, that just kind of works. Alright. I guess I'm gonna have to maybe keep this building probably somewhere over here. I hate it when I'm trying to make a point and then I just completely and entirely prove myself wrong. Like, I think this building has such a low profile, and the kind of the main part of the building is right there. So, yeah. Alright, so I just kind of fucked myself. So I am kind of allowing, though, for some open spaces. Let me just kind of see. Like I said, the best way to kind of get an idea of your city is to look at it from the ground and look at it from certain angles that you know you'll be seeing it very often. And even though you do want your city to look nice, it is acceptable to have some bad views and bad kind of angles. Like, I'm sure from back here, the city's not going to look as nice as it would maybe along the riverfront. With the buildings kind of standing very proudly against the river. There might be a street that comes off this way somewhere. I have no clue. But again, I also just hate that I proved myself wrong because, yeah, typical day in the Boudreaux household, I suppose. Let's see, what does the terrain do over here? So it looks like it comes uphill and goes downhill. Be very careful with that because I don't believe a lot of these buildings have bases. I'm not quite sure. Not entirely sure how that all works. Alright, so that's actually should be up a little higher, and same with that. So I could maybe snake a smaller building in back here, which you do have quite a few of those. I could snake this back here. So the idea behind a lot of this building work is I don't want to make a large downtown. I kind of want to keep a lot of this area very tight and compact. I'd actually like the train station to be somewhere nearby. Actually, I might. This might be a green space. So, a lot of things that happened with Castine where this was a lot of this was the port way back. This was a big fishing port. There was a lot of old structures that were built up over here alongside this river. This was a very large community, and it was centered around the fishing village. And there was a couple of fish processing plants. There was the oil tanks and stuff like that. It was it was very prominently old. There was some kind of a lot of buildings like this. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 stories, 8 or 9 stories. I think the tallest building out here was about 10 floors. Nothing huge, nothing big. In the late, I want to say 40s, early 50s, that I have drummed up. The port of Castine once again burned this, or kind of, this was known as the port of Castine. This was, the harbor. Castine Harbor was down here, but this district was kind of known as the port of Castine, even though the actual port that was being used by the Allies at this point for the Cold War was situated kind of all along here. But the true port of Castine, that was long established before that, was over here. And referring to this area, it was meant, mostly in the terms of fishing. Um, but that port burned down again. It burnt once in the I forget off the top of my head. I'm gonna go digging through my phone, and I just really don't want to right now. But the port did burn twice in its history, and it took a long time for this area to bounce back the second time around. Um, and of course, going forward, a lot of the historical buildings burnt, and they weren't going to be rebuilt. So a lot of newer buildings sprung up, and of course, with the newer buildings and the laxed historical codes on those, because they're not historical at all, uh, the city began developing, and as that happened, this kind of became the heart and soul of the financial district, um, and the kind of downtown center, I suppose you could call it. Um, that's kind of how this area came to be, and it is Toby once again. Hello, sir. All right, I'm not going to work with that too much, or too much more. Too more much. Yep. English. I want to kind of come back to Trondheim. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. I know, buddy. You're probably looking to go lay down or something. I'm tired too. Trust me. You sleep like a baby. Oh, your face is very soft. I like that. Anyways, I was actually earlier, I think last night, was looking for buildings to go around here. This is kind of what I want to go in here, was some kind of extra administration buildings and such. Just checking the DLS once again. One thing I have to consider, though, going forward, and it's going to happen, there are probably still going to be industries nearby this area um, that still are active in some capacity. Uh, and I'm going to have to model them. The big thing is there's going to have to be varying industries, some big, some small. But my question is, to myself, more or less, it's not a question to you guys, although if you guys want to answer, you're more than welcome to, is what industries are here? What industries are left? Because as the city grew up, a lot of the industries moved away, kind of got pushed out of city limits. But with Kaldvann, our main exports and how our economy is built is off of oil, seafood, wood products, and minerals. Minerals being iron ore, silver, gold, etc. Um, so exactly what industries do we have lying around? I'm assuming there'd be maybe some cement plants and stuff like that, but I really haven't given that a good thought as to what is still here, because there's probably going to be some like industries that are holding out of some fashion. I'm having a really tough time spitting words out tonight, so do bear with me, and major apologies up front. Um, but it's just a thought that crossed my mind, and I'm trying to figure that out because again, I'm I know there's still things that are here. You know, one thing that I haven't built in a while is a steel mill. Is there does Kaldvann have its own steel mill? And if it does or did, kind of finishing the sentence before it started, but if it does or if it did, is it still active or is it closed? Um, it's a number of different things that I'm curious about going forward, and I don't know, just certain things that I keep thinking about and wondering, would it make sense if I did that? Would it make sense for Kaldvan to have its own steel mill, or would all of our steel be imported? I mean, surely at some point Kaldvan would have had to have made its own steel. Um, I mean, I don't really suppose there's a lot of iron deposits in the country. What building is that? Hold on, that is government house. Governor's palace. I've already used that before. Yes, the boats. Um, that is one of the big things that I have thought about. Is exactly how is this going to work? What is going to be in the country in terms of industry? Um, I'll get there at some point. It's not going to be today, no huge rush, but what would make most sense to you guys? Maybe it would be worth throwing in your own 2 cents and hearing what maybe you guys have to say. But in the meantime, again, I'm looking for kind of buildings that fit this theme, kind of older, government-esque. Oh, I think it says the hotel's name on the front. Yeah. God, the ice in 747. That orange is horrific. Yeah, previously this is what my nation was called before I had the name change. Very interesting paint scheme, but God. Hmm. Alrighty. Um. Hmm. hard finding anything that could fit what I'm looking for. I need to actually just go go to plus, go to user, or well, author. Type in. There we go. Let's see if he has anything that would work for me. It would work if the trees weren't lying over it. Yeah, and it also would work if it wasn't a music theater. It floats too much in the back. Let's say I could make that work. It would have been a little tight, but could have made that work. Let's see, something just a little smaller. Don't really see anything that's fitting quite what I need. I feel like I've used that somewhere. Might be over here. I don't see it. But I feel like I've used it. Doesn't look like I have, actually. Huh. Alright, well. I guess I'll throw that in over here. What is it, though? It's a little long, so I might actually just do something like this. Like a entrance on main entrance on this facing this way. Which actually should be fine, really, if you think about it. shared plaza out front with another building. Actually, watch this. I'll do this. I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna just plop down two because I didn't really duplicate anything. I'm gonna plop that down. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna center this up. All right, and then we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna center you up. I'm gonna back that up to the line. Back that up to the line. Actually, I'm gonna bring this forward to the line. I'm gonna back the other one up a little more. Actually, that's a pretty decent distance. Oh man, for bring it forward. There. Let's say I almost kind of like. I was gonna say like the distance I liked between the two, but I was obligated for the symmetry to match it up with the turnaround point there. What those buildings are, I haven't a clue, but they're there. It's just government shit. Could be archives, could be something. I haven't a clue what goes on there. I haven't decided what I want to go on there. I just know I wanted something there. So that will fill in the space for here. Yeah, but also what I was talking about in terms of the town being very dense. So there used to be a couple of big high rises that were pretty close to the height of the Allegiant Tower that sat over here. Um, there was a couple that sat back there. These used to be actually a little taller. And of course, you have the other side in Rosenborg. Rosenborg is actually pretty dense in terms of their structures. All are still shorter than the Allegiant Tower, except of course for the steeple on the church over there, which is yet to be named. So the parking lot got these buildings. This area could just use some trees and shit, but I'll find an excuse not to do them. Got the older mills over here. One thing I've noticed about Trondheim, there's no car dealerships. There's no place to buy your cars. That needs to change. I need to sneak one in somewhere. Make a small little car lot somewhere back up in. Oh yeah. What time is it, Christ? 2:27. Yeah, I'll come back to that later. I'm probably gonna get off here because now I'm like really starting to fall asleep. Let's see. So yeah, about an hour 19. If I stream again tomorrow, it's gonna be probably 26.1 because this stream kind of sucked. But my apologies. I had all that energy. I'm like, yeah, I'll stream till I get tired, and I got streaming, and well, now I'm tired. I need to create the signs for this exit here, as well as the exit 3, I believe that is, because this is exit 4. So yeah, the next one back there would be exit 3. So I need to create that exit, make the signs for both northbound and southbound. Um, Hasvik, Sorgenfree, Marienburg. So the next one would be probably Sorgenfree, Hasvik, and then whatever comes the next after that. Because of course what I've learned from Roadsteins is that the bottom is usually what you're going to reach first, and then just in order. So of course this is the next exit. That should be the exit after that, and usually that is just a point of interest after that. But I've gone with the next kind of exit, and I think it's kind of, unless of course you're coming up to a interchange. It's pretty much going to be how the standard is. Like over here, the first kind of area you're going to hit is the UOK main campus, and then the Oya Singsaker area. But there needs to be another sign somewhere close by for this, because I don't have any exit signs approaching. I think it was, yeah, just the exit. And then we have one for 500 meters, and I think it was 1,000 meters. Yeah, pretty sure this will say 1,000. 1,200 actually. Yeah, 500 meters would probably be about here, anyways, just because the road. This is as the crow flies, and the other is not. Additional 500 would be. No, they're gonna need to do something from here. So this will be about. That's 500. This will be about an extra 400. So this will be about 900 meters. Roughly. Just guesstimating at this point. So yeah, I need to do that for this way. Yeah, not sure about this one. Ringval. Ringval. Because if anything, it should be UOK main campus. Yeah, it should be the UOK main campus. Oh yeah, Singsacker, and then I would even probably put Sorgenfree with the airport symbol here. Um, hmm. I'm just trying to think of how exactly the sign would be arranged, because um, So I'm thinking, no, this one's going to need redesign. Rosenborg Centrum, perfect. The historical or national landmark, ferry terminal, and train terminal symbols are perfect. You know, because that's all stuff that you want to get to. 13 South up here, fine. UOK main campus. I'm not sure if it would be on this sign. I really don't. The next sign makes a little more sense because that's the exit. I'm wondering if there'd be a small sign off to the side, maybe about here. University of Kaldvann, Trondheim campus, exit 3. Or maybe even 1,000 meters back. Hell, saying that, which would then free up this sign for, um, probably Oya Singsacker, which would be at the bottom. Um, I could probably do Sorgenfree. Sorgenfree with the airport and probably the B6 symbol, which I think would be important because the B6 is another highway, another bit major highway actually. So I think including both of those would be important for the B6 and the airport in Sorgenfree. And then probably the next one above it should be Hasvik. Like, quite honestly, it should be Hasvik. Um, excuse me. Either that or just pointing to like, um, either the main island or whatever. I really don't know. I think Hasvik would be the next logical one. It's kind of the next really only town along the way. Um, yeah, that's really all I can think of is heading that way. Because of course we go here, and the next sign is, UOK main campus. Okay, that's fine. Because that's obviously you're gonna need to be in this lane. Oya Singsacker, cool. Marienburg, Sorgenfree, Hasvik, pretty cut and dry. Same thing over here. And same deal over here. I wonder, do I have any of the old Kaldvann highway sign? Did I delete them? Let's see. Nope, I saved it right here. Trondheim, Halden, Avesta, Stjordal, Riveka. For some reason, I just kind of like this, especially with the division to National Heritage Route 28 and Interstate or A5 West. So you're on the A13 North interchange for the A5 West, exit 9. Hmm. Wonder where the A5 would go. Because previously that was Tiernahofen that we were working on. That was the oh God. Actually, that area technically used to exist over here. This was the old Tiernahofen. That's actually where the beginnings of this airport began. These are actually the. I actually want to say this is the old baseboards from Tiernahafen. Um, I can't remember if I imported that or if I imported the Dem to the old Kaldvann. Which actually, for shits and giggles, I wonder if I still have the old Tiernahafen. I wonder. Since I'm wrapping up, let's go take a gander real quick, and then I'm gonna show you the police cars that I was drumming up, and maybe the fire trucks real quick. I know, exciting things. You guys seem very happy. A whole few of you who are viewing. I think out of curiosity, I just kind of want to see. I'm just, like I said, I'm dragging ass now, so I'm just looking for things to do. Let's see. Kaldvann National Save, or was it just Kaldvann? Let's just check Kaldvann. Yeah, 2:39. I'm gonna be going to bed. It's an early night. Sucks because it was a late start. Just trying to remember exactly if this was the route that I wanted. It might take a little bit to load because I don't think I've loaded this route in forever. Ah, yes, the old Kaldvann. With the Eagle River attached to it. The hell was I thinking? Oh, this has oh shit, that's Vormstad. I loved Vormstad. It's almost like quintessential Kaldvann vibes. This big fuck off bridge. Like this was honestly some like I was proud of this terraforming too. And you get the little village down here. Oh, I got rid of the gas station. Ah, yeah, this little village. I want to recreate this so bad somewhere. Ah, this was awesome. Of course, these streetlights were fucking close. That road needs a lot of help. Like, the years were not too kind to it. Ah, that was so cool. I loved that. Alvenfjord, Vormstadhaven. Yeah, this port was kind of cool too. Had like this like pseudo medical center that I had built. With of course, with a helipad to transport people off to the main hospital. Uh, it was just cool. Of course, this area didn't make too much sense because like it's a fishing harbor, but like it's higher than the ocean, so I don't know. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Still did it anyways. Kind of the wandering road. Of course, to get to. I think this is Alvenfjord. Breaks off, goes two separate ways. The track's still up here. It's pretty damn cool. I don't think I connected. No, I didn't connect that up to anything yet. And then. Oh man, this was just when I was starting to build Trondheim. Let's see how different it was then compared to now. Ah, actually not too terrible. So I'd started Rosenborg. Yeah, like make it daytime. My day and night cycle isn't too bad either. So that's good. So I had Rosenborg. So actually, like a lot of the city here is kind of the same. Like not a ton is too different. Of course, I've worked more. Like this is now a pretty fleshed out scene. This is different. That fire station's moved. There's a little more over here. This has changed a few different times. This doesn't go into a trench. Kind of interesting, really, to see. I hadn't really placed many buildings up here. This has more textures. You get the A13 that comes through. Yeah, it's still roughly the same. Yeah, it's not too different. There's that larger building over here. Oh yeah, I still had the train station over here. So this was like the national rail, whereas this train station was the local rail, which now it's just all the same damn thing. I think I have more buildings over here now. Um, wow, that's actually kind of interesting. Oh, sorry to keep saying that, but it's like it's kind of funny to like come over here and instead of water, I see rail. This was a dumb idea. This was so dumb. Like honestly, if I could change, if the city wasn't so built up, if I could change anything, I would actually lower the rail under the city and have the rail come out into the station underground. Of course, the logistics of that would be a absolute nightmare. I probably could do it. Um, it would just be a major pain in my ass. Of course, then like the railroad at that point, I don't know. It looked like I was just in the process of taking that out. That's crazy. Like there's nothing over here. Sorgenfrie's not even here. I had built the Centrum Lufthafen, so that was here. Very early. Like there is nothing. Kind of funny to see all that. The station was different. It's actually like a big station. There's nothing over here. I don't even. Yeah, I didn't extend the river yet. Like on the other side of these hills is just absolutely jack shit. That's cool. Oh, I'd done the approach lights, so I'd done that crazy little skit. Now the rails though start coming along. What's this station? This is hadn't even named it yet, but I plopped it down. It's gonna come across here. Looks like I maybe started a mountain. Yep, this would have been possibly the start of the big mountain that I have because it's no, it's too far south because that would be about here. But um, Tianahafen sits over here. However, this was the old um, Loch Mechanic on the original Kaldvann or the original Carabasset, and this here is actually the A13. Um, I think, anyways. That's missing. Yeah, this is the A13, and that's the A13 over there. So some continuity errors. Nice little interchange that I have. Not bad, not bad. I'm actually quite happy with this one. Of course, my road textures are all messed up now. There's the old village. The walls are missing though. Actually, a lot of the buildings are missing out of here. Yeah, the road textures are all guffed up. The pillars for the bridge are gone. Tianahofen was actually quite a cute little town. Of course, how it was situated is kind of all screwy. And the highway, this is just a bitch. I mean, and that jog right there is ugh. But I did it. It's all walled off and soundproofed, and town come a long way. Oh, a little rotary. Oh, I like that. And it comes along here, and oh, big intersection. Oh, an Octon gas station. So that, all right. So I'd done that. I'd reskinned that. Okay. It comes over here and hooks up with this road. Bridge with whatever you want to call that. Kaldvann flags out in the middle. I like that on the wall. Looks like I started to build a port of some kind. Okay, I have a port. What's over here? Alright, so this is the beginning of the Trondheim International. So you can see here, the layout really... So this was like early layout. This is like me early designing this. So the terminal was built. Oh god, the big fuck off rotary, which made no sense because you didn't need this. You didn't need this rotary. Because think about this. So traffic coming in could only turn right and go into the terminal. So all traffic coming off this little highway thing here, which I think would have hooked up with this highway. Yeah, because there's the exit for that. So I made an exit. Oh god, what's this? Oh Jesus. Made a sign. So yeah, the traffic comes in, and it comes like the highway. You only can go here. You only can go that way. These are dual one ways, so these are coming towards us. Um, this is just traffic bypassing, and this is traffic coming straight on. That's going into the terminal. So they're gonna go this way. So if this is a dual one way and no one needs to access this way, and no one, everyone in this lane is going to be going to the terminal, everyone coming this way is going into the terminal. Aside from, oh shit, I made a wrong turn, there is no point to the roundabout. Like, this roundabout, it was redundant. Like, this all maybe should have been, like, I don't even know how it should have been, because, again, it's all redundant. This roundabout was redundant. It's impressive, it's obnoxious looking, but it's redundant. Anyways, yeah, this was the early Kaldvann. Actually, this was like late Kaldvann, the hand-built version. And of course, I stuck the Eagle River on it because whatever. That's just an old airport I kept from the original Carabasset that I was building. And here was the way down into the old Castine. This was the original Castine. The tunnel, you come through the tunnel. In theory, the road goes into a tunnel and then kind of comes up. Or kind of goes this way or whatever have you. The rail line spits out over here. Hooks back up with the industrial spur. I don't know why it branched off two ways again. That was nice. I did a good job with that. Oh, construction. Looks like I started a rail yard of some kind over here. Hmm. Yeah, this is the original Castine, though. The janky harbor. Yeah, this is what the Castine used to look like. I mean, not a ton has changed, but I mean, some has changed, but not a ton. You can still kind of tell the two, the resemblance. Like this is still the entrance to the port. You have the containers and whatnot, but now we have the big entrance, and this is more extended outward and whatnot. But this was the original plan for Castine. Castine originally wasn't supposed to be so low to the sea level, but things change. One thing I do kind of wish I could do is the original plan for Castine was to have the big cliffs kind of situated behind it. And Castine would be kind of on this lower plane, but again, because I'm working with a dem now, um, everything's kind of different and changed now, but it is what it is. But I guess that's that for trains. I will exit out of that. I'll load up SketchUp and I'll show you guys what I've been working on there, just real quick. See if it wants to load here. Something might happen. I'm not sure. Hmm. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's taking a second. It's not considering it. Hmm. Well, that's a little upsetting. I was kind of hoping to show you guys this real quick, but I guess not. Well, alright then. Okay, well, I guess it's not going to play nice. So, anyways, yeah, that pretty much should do it for tonight. I'm going to go to bed while I'm still halfway coherent. But I do appreciate you guys for watching and just kind of staying with me for my ramblings. Yeah, if I stream today at this point, I will just go ahead and label it 26.1. Hopefully, it'll be kind of more the same at this point. But, anyways, I'm off. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night. Wait, hold on. Something's happening here. Something might be happening here. box has appeared, so it might be figuring it out. Maybe. Ah, hey, look. All right then. So it finally figured out that it wanted to do it. Took a hot minute, but there it is. Yeah. So I guess real quick. So of course I've been on SketchUp for a long, long time. I'll kind of take you guys through real quick to my warehouse. We'll just go Boeing Fan 727. No, I don't think you guys can see the screen, but uh, anyways, yeah, it's a separate application, I suppose. Um, but yeah, so I've been on SketchUp for a long, long time, probably since about seventh grade or so, which would have been years and years and years ago. Seventh grade would have been, God, I think I was in sixth grade when Obama got inaugurated. It was '09. No, no, no. I can't remember exactly when that happened. Oh, it would have been, yeah, seventh grade was '09. Anyways, so at least since seventh grade, I graduated in 2015. I'll do the math another day. But, most of it was just fictional airlines and stuff like that. But some early Kaldvannisms popped out, then Easton Island, or Ison Island. Uh, but of course, as I've been kind of trumbling along, I've created some squad cars, and we have a couple variants of the Trondheim Police Department. One being this one that I drummed up recently, which is going to be the livery. Previously, I was going to have just a National Police cruiser, but I decided I wanted to go ahead and give the cities their own police departments, like some cities, but there's a National Police Department, City Police Department, and then might be counties. I don't know. That might just be handled by the National Police, but I was gonna go with this design, but it felt a little too American. Not enough, kind of bright colors, noticeable. I don't know. It looks nice, but there was something I just didn't like about it. So I ended up going with this design over here. So I just like it a little more. Just a little more brighter, a little more noticeable. Just kind of screams a little more foreign design to me. Of course, it does kind of incorporate Norwegian text on it versus the American text, or well, English text. Duh. I also kind of like the font. Just I don't know, something about that I like. Um, yeah, just I kind of like the design. I know the red's kind of just not very um, police-like, but again, it's more of a foreign design. And I know it's on a Dodge of all things, but I also created my own license plates. I will show you real quick. Let's see. Um, Painted an old police van. Who the hell? This is the old Trondheim Police Department paint scheme. Of course, again here's the Norwegian text. So yeah, again, I mean it's very Massachusetts-esque. But this would have been the older paint scheme for the Trondheim Police Department back then. And as the modern times have gone on, the scheme got brighter. Um, this is just fun. A Dodge Grand Caravan with steelies, a push bar, and a spotlight. That's just a trip. Of course, we have the license plate once again, Kaldvann 001112 MP, which is Municipal Police, or however you say that in Norwegian. And of course, Trondheim for the city that it serves, the city flag, and then this is just the symbol for police plates. But this was fun. That was kind of fun to create. So I guess I'll go new. Let's see, 3D warehouse. Kind of download a couple things and show y'all. So this is the new National Police cruisers, what they look like. I'll bring in the old one here in a second once it decides it wants to load. If it wants to load, I don't think it wants to. It's given a hot think. It's thunking about it. Doing a big thunk. There we go. Go ahead and just doop and doop. Kill the axis too. But this is the new police cruisers on the 2020 style Ford Explorer, the police utility. So very simplistic, just a blue and orange stripe with the national flag on the side of the door. No text, just very simplistic. And then on the back, just above the reflective stripe, has dual national and national, or national, or national. And no license plate, just the national flag, Kaldvann. So this is the current style of police cruisers. Like I said, just very simplistic, very easy on the eyes. Nothing fancy. The old one, which I think y'all are familiar with, would look a little something like this. You've definitely seen this one before. So yeah, this one was imported into trains, but this is the old design, which I like this one too. This one was quite nice. And that was quite nice. I like the old Crown Vic design. Still a bunch of those pounding around, but not too many. And then of course I was painting at the time some fire trucks for Trondheim on my old computer. Of course now SketchUp isn't free, and you have to buy it. It's like $200 a year, which I'm not paying for. Not yet, not yet. So just kind of doing the free trials and spamming out whatever I can get out in that time being before it just kind of tells me go fuck yourself. But this is the Trondheim Fire Department, of course, still using American trucks or North American looking rigs. This is engine 1. That's the big fire station over in West Trondheim, over by the stadium, the ballpark. Um, this is, well, known as Station 1 or Central Station headquarters. But I don't know, I just got bored and I wanted to paint the truck, so nice little design. Do like the black or the charcoal looking roof. This is the crest for the Trondheim Fire Department, established in 1872. I don't know, it was fun to create this. So we have that, and then of course we had well, not of course, but we had a hazmat, or I'm sorry, a rescue truck. We had a rescue truck, which looks as such. A little bit of an older rig, using the older kind of light pattern, I suppose, if you want to call it that. I don't know why that's so big. But yeah, so this is Rescue 1 at the same station. Um, a couple floodlights. lot of lights back here. Yeah, it was just something fun to do. Just something fun to create, and I don't know. I had a lot of fun doing the fire trucks. They were a pain in the ass, but lots of fun. So that's just kind of something I did for a little while, and then I guess I'll show you a little bit. And do I really want? Yeah, just nothing really else to show you. Just a bunch of airplanes. So, um, actually, I guess I'll show you the old national airline at Kaldvann, or well, Ison, I guess. If I can find any of them. Where did they go? Hmm. Oh, so someone created this for me, I think. Yeah. It's on an Airbus A318. Not a bad design. I was okay with it, I guess. My original design wasn't a ton better, but looked a little more something like this. This was years and years and years ago. If I go to the warehouse real quick on SketchUp and see the first time I kind of referenced Ison, which again later turned into Kaldvann, would have been. I mean, there was rumblings of it, but it would have been 7/5/2014. So many, 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 many moons ago. Um, I think my oldest model on my warehouse. God, just to see, like, just scrolling back, scrolling back, scrolling back, scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Let's see. It says 3/22/2014, but I know I didn't upload that many models in a single year. 3/23/2014. Yeah, I think there was an update to the warehouse originally. Uh, Something for SketchUp, that being. Let's see, because that model should be older than that. Yeah, because I am flying on X-Plane 9. Yeah, very interesting though to kind of come back. But anyways, but the point being of all this is that um, you know, Kaldvann, or well then Ison, um, always been around. It's always provided me some form of entertainment. Um, it's been fun. It's been fun, kind of doing all the background stuff for it. But anyways, before I fall asleep, I'm gonna get off, and yeah, I'll probably stream tomorrow for a little while, or I don't know, maybe take a day for myself. But I will talk to y'all then. Thanks for watching.